Aloha. I've had a few experiences of my own in this great and beautiful part of the world. In Samoa, the London Missionary Society, they were responsible for carrying Christianity to Samoa and to other lands of the Pacific. And that our harvest was based on their earlier effort in very large measure. And there stands out in my mind, among the pioneers of Tonga, Brother Vernon Coombs. The first presidency concluded that it wasn't worth the fight to have the work go on in Tonga. And so they wrote to President Coombs and told him he'd better close up the mission. And he sent back a letter pleading with them to give him the opportunity to work with the people he loved and carry on that great work. The presidency rescinded their earlier decision, and he continued and did a marvelous work there, as did his son DeMont Coombs. In Hawaii, George Buchanan and Jonathan Napela, who translated the Book of Mormon into the native Hawaiian tongue. And many of you who sit in this congregation today, who have been gathered from those islands, are here because of their efforts. And I hope that you'll never, never, never forget that.
84 years ago, Elder David O. McKay stopped in Laie during a tour of church missions. He attended the flag-raising ceremony and devotional exercises of the Laie School, where 127 children of many races were enrolled. Elder McKay was deeply touched as he watched these children singing, praying, and pledging allegiance to the flag of the United States. As he watched the proceedings, he envisioned a church school of higher learning for Laie, which would eventually complement the recently dedicated Hawaii Temple. That vision, which endured for many years, including the years of World War II, culminated in what became the Church College of Hawaii.
It was anciently a place of refuge, but as time came on, it was acknowledged there was something even more special about this place, and I think President David O. McKay saw it.
President McKay was an educator, a patron of the arts. He was a teacher of truth after the pattern of the master teacher, even our Savior, Jesus Christ.
And when he prophesied that there would be a school in this place, and then when he became the prophet and he initiated the school, I think it was very clear that he had in mind that this sacred place, small, in the middle of the ocean, on the North Shore, tiny in many ways, but it was the perfect site for a temple and for a university. Cultural center that would portray and preserve culture, and students from all over the world would come and learn and grow and develop.
BYU Hawaii, I think, from the very beginning, had more of a clear vision as to what it was supposed to be because of its prophetic statements that have come from the prophets, not just President McKay, but others.
I looked at that student body coming from such a diverse background. I think we enjoy the reputation of having the highest percentage of international students of any college of its size in the world.
Here, race and ethnicity virtually disappear in the oneness of the people in terms of the gospel, the temple, and the way we live and share and love one another.
The people are so outgoing and so supportive. It's just a great community to be a part of, and not just the university community, but the extended community.
And I think that's why President McKay said what he said, and why Elder Marion G. Romney said what he said. that this is the living laboratory. This is the model. This is the place that can teach the world how to come together in harmony. Of course, the number one principle is the gospel of Jesus Christ.
And clearly, one of the unique things about BYU Hawaii is we're the only one of the CES schools focused on the Pacific. And so the prophets have always been very concerned since the start of the school that it provide the kind of experience that would enable the young men and young women of the Pacific to really develop, get the education they need, and then go back and really make a difference in building the kingdom.
We looked an awful lot at the students who were wanting to come from Asia, particularly from Japan, from the Philippines, from Taiwan, and started opening up the doors to the Asian students. Once that happened, then we had an awful lot of interest from those areas. Of course, at the same time, we had to look at what was required to be able to send them home with an education, and that was very different than, you had to look at it very differently. The school became much more complex, not just Polynesia, but the Asian Rim, and the Pacific was really part of BYU Hawaii.
We had a chance to visit many of the countries, obviously not all of them, with 70-plus countries. We have a lot still to go. But it's exciting to see them in their home culture and then to see how that plays out on our campus and to see the interaction. I mean, clearly one of the distinctive things about our cultural aspects and the possibilities for students to gain much greater appreciation of other cultures and understand those cultures. One of the great blessings that we've had is watching students that we've met, whether in Tahiti or Fiji or wherever it might be, prospective students who then school and are now doing well at the school. So seeing the progress in their lives, I think that's the most exciting thing. All of the prophets who've spoken on this campus invariably repeat the theme that there's a grand role for the university to play, and it's not yet fulfilled the role. So one of the real challenges is how do you envision what's ahead for the university and for the students here, prepared to deliver that, so that in fact we're meeting the vision that prophets have had for this university. It's interesting, when President McKay witnessed that flag ceremony at the elementary school here, it included children from Asia, and in fact he was on his way to Japan and China. And so in all of his statements about the need for a university here in the future, he not only talked about the Pacific, but he talked about Asia. And it's clear as you look to that part of the world, 2/3 of the people in the world, of our Father in Heaven's children, live there. And this is the one CES school to being able to serve the development of the kingdom in that area. That it really puts us in a strong position to be able to serve the future of the church in Asia, not just in the Pacific.
Everything that I have seen during the years that I've been here leads me to believe that all of the marvelous things that have occurred here over the years have been a preparation for more things that are yet to come.
I believe that the Lord will bless us as fast as we're ready for the blessings. So I think the real challenge to us is to set our sights much higher than we might otherwise set them.
The Lord really does expect us to become a righteous people and to build Zion here, build Zion in our hearts, build Zion in our families, build Zion in our communities, and build Zion across the world.
I think President McKay said it very well. From this school will go men and women whose influence will be felt for good toward the establishment of peace internationally.
The leaders of the church and our board, including the First Presidency, see the future much more clearly than most of us do. They see what these young people are going to be up against. And so I think our real charge as a university is not to prepare them for the world we grew up in, but for the world they're going to be in, and that they're going to have to help lead and preserve and prepare for the second coming. It's about the total experience and how well these young men and young women are prepared, because they are the pivotal generation. I mean, they're the Lord's reserved, and they can do it, but we need to help them do it and be more effective in delivering our part of that.
In February of 1955, the man who by then had become president of the church, even David O. McKay, presided at the groundbreaking services. In September of that year, the Church College of Hawaii officially commenced classes with a student body of 153. Today, on this beautiful campus, there are some 2,400 students from Asia, the Pacific Islands, the mainland, and other parts of the world. You represent over 70 countries and are fulfilling the dream which President David O. McKay had for you and the thousands of others who passed and who will yet pass through these hallowed halls. As he broke ground 50 years ago, President McKay declared that there were two purposes for the school. First, for things pertaining to God and His kingdom, and second, to help develop character and make noble men and women. For 50 years now, this institution has been fulfilling these noble purposes. It will continue to do so.
E ka imaiana, e hahai ka leo